Hello. So for the task 4, in order to do some application performance uh, testing or kind of like how to look for if there are any bugs or any exceptions that are occurring. So kind of like looking into the performance and all. So for this SigNoz, so with this SigNoz application, I'm doing the basic kind of like traces and the testing for the simple app, sample node.js app. So if we go to their official documentation, so here they have given the steps like how to run this SigNoz with simple Node.js app. So I have did it accordingly. I am running SigNoz and the corresponding Node.js app in one of my EC2 instance, and now I'm running from it. So this is my application sample Node.js. So let's go step by step. So here in the overview, we can see the chart with P99, P90, and P50. So technically what it does is like it shows, let's say for example, this P99. So it is showing like 99% of the traffic is having the latency of 20 milliseconds. And then P90 means this 90% of the traffic is having the latency between 15 to 20, and same is the case with for the 50% of the traffic. We can see here the difference is of 5 milliseconds, so this is in between 10 to 15 milliseconds. Similarly for that app that I am running over here, so this is the get call, this is the get call, this is the milliseconds with respect to P50, P95, and P99, and this is the different call that they have given in their application. So if we go to 404, then that is the another call. So for that, these are the milliseconds, and number of calls that I have did is one. So if I refresh that again, I think it takes some time to refresh. Yeah, it takes some time to refresh. But otherwise, there are certain middlewares like core middleware, Express, JSON parser. So if we go to their code, so this is the core Express and the JSON request. Similarly, this is the 404 request that they have given. This is the uh, default request with the hello world in it. So yes, so we can see it over here. If we wanted to go deep dive, then we can do this get call. Just wait a second to refresh it. Okay, so now it's showing two. It was showing one, so it takes some time. Okay, so after that, okay, this is the service sample node.js. It take duration of 2.5 millisecond. The method is get. The status code is 404. So we can see this kind of information over here. And similarly, mm, okay. So if we go to again my sample the traces, okay. So here we can now it is showing these are the other services that is running in that application. So if we untick them, then we can get quite a lot of information from this page itself, which is really good actually. I wanted to see all the operation get request 404 and other middleware components. Okay, there are no component, no RPC status code. I want to see both. There is nothing. This is my VM's IP on this particular port. Get method, HTTP URL. These are the URL, means my IP and the port number. This is the 404. This is the favicon icon. And this is the basic. Okay, trace ID. Fine. Okay, so now if we go over here, it shows like in order to get this call, there are certain things that is running. Like what are the other things that are running for this particular call. So there are other middlewares like JSON parser and then other middleware, express and query. So kind of like in order to get over here, it is showing all the related, all the processes that has run. This is the simple app, so this is not technically dependent, but otherwise it will show the dependency. Like in order to reach to the particular point, it will show the dependent kind of like dependent hops, like where it has gone before. So we can see that. Similarly, we can see some other information like it is the status code 404, the app name, the route, and this is the these are other information. This is the host and port, get call. So logs. So we have seen this. Okay. So I have selected. So yeah, if we select only our app, we can see the calls that we have made so far, like all calls. This is the middleware call 404 get call. These are running because of this, and then we're reaching over here. Similarly, this is the test error that we can also see. So if we go to exceptions, why it's not showing? No data. It should show it over here. So this is the default tab that they were running in this particular repository. So technically, we can see the service graph, service map over here, like how many services are interconnected and how the traffic is flowing, and simultaneously here we can see the latency, request, and error rate. So error rate is 0. These are the 0.51 requests per second. This is the P99 latency. We can see it over here. Okay. Okay. So similarly, if we go to Log Explorer, so it shows all the logs that the other services are also giving. So for that, we can go something like container name equal to my container. So this is it. If I run the query, so we can see the logs, tracing initialized listening. This is the log. So if we go over here, this will show the container ID, and the body is listening for request on HTTP localhost. So if we go over here, this is the listening on request, listening for request on this particular port. So we can see these kind of logs generated by the app in this particular section. These are the logs that will get generated while running the app. So these are the logs. These are the different representations. And similarly for this application, it should show the exception of this is the test error. This should, because it was showing previously in the exception tab, but I don't know why it's not showing it over here now. It will show the error. So kind of like when we do the debugging or whatever error we get in the terminal, like that similar kind of representation will be given over here. So it will show what is the project name, and then what is the file, what is the line number, what is the column number, and what is the error. It will show everything over here in this particular exception section. Okay. Okay, I ran that app again in a different way. So as we can see, we have this is a test error message. So here we can see this is the test error. So it will show like this is the test error in this particular app for this file on this particular line and column. So this is the exceptions. We have seen exceptions, how to see logs and the traces. With this filtration, we can get for this for the specific app and specific request, and we can go deeper. These are the different apps that is running with the now this is the dependent thing that I was talking about. We can see their latencies also. Yeah, that's it.